Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to this episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. Have you ever had to look really at your life and notice just how full it is, how busy it is? You know, we're human beings, but we end up being human doings because we're always constantly doing something. I know I'm terrible at that. I find it really difficult just to sit down and do nothing. I say that I get bored or I have to be doing something. But I'm not a human doing, I'm a human being. So I should have more time to relax. And I do that through meditation and I do that through sitting in nature. But I find it very hard, for example, to sit on the sofa and do nothing. I have to read or do something. And a lot of us are like that in our daily lives. There's hardly any free time, any space. You know, we're either driving to the office, we're cranking up the computer, we're working on something. We work through lunch quite often. You know, not many of us take a full hour's lunch break or even half an hour. So we're always busy doing something. We're coming home from work, we're cooking, we're going to the gym, we're doing the kids' clubs. We're always on the move and we find it very hard to relax. But in the universe, there are no spaces. So there is no emptiness. There are no voids anywhere. Everything that you see around you or everything that you can't see is completely full. There's nothing that's empty. There's no space that hasn't got something in it. And even if you look at the space that you think is around you, all that space is oxygen and it's air and it's full of energy, vibrating energy, different particles. So there's nothing that is. You can never find a completely empty space. The space is always filled with something. So there's no voids anywhere. So if you put that in context with your life and you're asking for something new, you want, a new business or you want more success, you want more clients, you want more finances, you want more happiness, more health, whatever it is you're looking for, that you're asking for more of, how can the universe bring you more if what you have already is full? How can it cram any more into it? You can't get any more energy in the space around you than is already there because it's full. You can't get any more energy in your body because it's full. You just choose the vibration of your body. Let's take the example of, your wardrobe. If your wardrobe was full of clothes, completely full from one end to the other with hangers of clothes, and you go and buy some new clothes, you can't fit them in that wardrobe because there's no space. So you have to take some of the old ones out to fit the new ones in. And it's the same in your life. If you're wanting more of something, you have to create the space ahead of time for it to come into your life. I've heard about people who, wanted to attract their perfect partner and they were told to create spaces, for example, in their drawers, to create an empty drawer so that they are allowing space for that partner to come in. And it's the same in your business. If you're wanting, for example, more clients, is there space in your calendar for them to fit in? Or is your calendar full of other stuff that you're doing? How can you expect them to come into your business if your business is already full doing something else? How can you expect, for example, on another note, let's look at weight loss. If you're wanting to start to eat healthier, how can you fit all the extra veggies into your fridge if it's already full of chocolate dessert or ready-made meals? You have to create space for everything if you want change. You can't ask for change and expect change if there's no space for the change to come. So take a look around at what it is that you're wanting to attract into your life and ask yourself, is there space for this to come? Do I have room in my calendar? Do I have room in my life for this to manifest? Because if your life is already full, just like that closet, you will not get anything new in there. And no matter how many times the universe may be sending you people or finances or situations or clothes, it can't get them in because it's just getting bounced back because the door will not open. It's already full. There's no space for any more in there. So you have to create the space. So just check in with yourself that you're creating space for what you want in your life. As you know, that last week I celebrated my 100th episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. I was so excited. I didn't realize that I'd even got that far. And I know that sounds crazy, but when I started, I didn't think about creating 100 episodes. I just started and took action consistently, kept showing up, kept doing the episodes. And it was never a goal of mine to create 100, but it came around because I didn't give up. I kept going and I made the time. I made the time in my calendar. I created space for me to put that podcast in there. And it reached 100. And I want to thank you all for listening. I really appreciate the fact that you've helped make this podcast one of the top 5% globally. And that is a real honor for me. And to celebrate my 100th episode, I would like to offer you 100 sessions of coaching. These are gifted coaching sessions. These are 30 minutes long. They're looking at where you are, where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and what's standing in your way. These coaching calls, as I say, are gifted. We have a maximum of one per person because we have to get them around. Everybody has to be able to access them. And also, I'm sorry, guys, but if you're one of my existing coaching clients, you can't apply because you already have me. And I think that's enough. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you to be able to book yourself on my calendar. I have created space in my calendar for 100 gifted coaching sessions. Now, I'm only doing a maximum of 2 a day because I don't have the space to do any more than that. I don't have the time. So make sure that you jump on the link after this, listen to this episode and book yourself one of my coaching sessions. As I said, they're free. And if you don't do it today, then you might be waiting months before you manage to get in. So I have decided that you deserve to have a celebration of my 100th podcast with me. As soon as we can't do it in person, we have to do it remotely, on the phone or via Zoom, then this was my gift to you to say a big thank you back. Short of sending you all a box of chocolates and a thank you card, this was the closest that I could come. So thank you once again, guys, for my 100th. As I said, this episode is about making space for what you want to come into your life. And I have created space for 100 gifted coaching sessions in my calendar to allow them to come into my life and to allow me to come into yours. Are you willing to allow 30 minutes of your time to have a coaching call with me? Do you believe that you're worthy of that? Remember, if you want something different to come into your life, you have to create the space for it. And creating the space for a 30-minute coaching call with me could be the very first step you take. And then the rest will be easy. Everything else will fall into place as you create new steps, new spaces, and allow new things to come into your life. Because if you want change, you have to change. Doing the same things, creating the same thoughts, beliefs, actions, even having the same old ways of doing things is just going to create the same thing in your life again and again. One thing I will say, though, is if you're thinking back to that wardrobe again and you're thinking about looking in there and seeing all those clothes, you decide, okay, I'm going to make some space. I'm going to take some of the old ones out and make way for the new. So you start going through them and then you're like, oh, actually, I really like this one. I haven't worn it in 5 years, but I absolutely loved it last time I wore it. I might wear that again. It might be a special occasion, but I'll wear it again. I'll keep that. And you go through all the different clothes and, some of them you're like, oh, actually, that looks really good on me. In fact, I'll wear that tomorrow. I'll wear that today. And you start wearing new clothes, which is good. It's good. You have a new wardrobe to look at after all. But quite often, some of the things we don't want to throw away because they're connected to memories or situations, oh, I can't throw that away because I wore it on my first date, or I was wearing that lucky jumper when I got my first client. So there's often things that we don't want to let go of because they're sentimental to us. They have memories connected to them. And that is exactly the same thing in your life. There are things that you have to, as I said, get rid of to make space for something new, but you don't want to because, that old way of doing something, that old thought, that belief, that action is often tied to people, places, and experiences. And whether they're good or bad, they can sometimes keep you stuck there because you're not ready to let that part of you go. You're not ready to let that emotional part of you go. And that can take some work to get through. So be gentle with yourself, but please do remember that if you're holding on to something, especially when you know that it doesn't serve you anymore, just for the fact that it has sentimental value or memories, or it reminds you of somebody or some period in your life, that's just keeping the good new stuff from coming to you. And ask yourself, is it worth it? Is this experience, this way of doing something, this thought, this belief, is it worth giving up the chance of having a new, exciting, more abundant, joyous future? So create change, create space, allow there to become a void in your calendar, in your life, in something, and allow the universe to flood in and fill it, to rush in and create what it wants you to have in the space of what was old and wasn't working anymore. So I look forward to speaking to you. Remember to book your call right after you've listened to this episode. Otherwise, you might be waiting a while before you manage to get in. If you're one of the first ones, congratulations. Lucky for you, you got in first. And I can't wait to have a chat with you and help you make more space for what is coming to you. So I'm sending you lots of love today. I hope you have a phenomenal Tuesday, and I will speak to you again soon. Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.